And I think that men as well need a man to say things that make sense and also aren't just like a dickhead that treats girls badly and gives bad advice. Like if you ever want to actually fall in love and lock someone down, like the way you're doing it, bro, and the bros you're getting advice from isn't the way it's gonna happen.
Right. How could I not welcome Bella Thorne to Not So Hollywood, where we talk about the un-Hollywood side of your life. And we were just getting into it, talking about snail, I don't know, excrements. What is it that makes your skin so beautiful?
Thank you so much. I mean, the Koreans are great at everything. I mean, wow, they're just like the leading in art to music to skincare to like, I mean, don't make me go on the whole list. Jesus. Right. And there's the snail mucin that's like, I don't know that I'm saying the last part completely right. But basically these snails, they like go on like, you know, like a little grading system and they just like travel. And then instead of leaving their like snail juice liquid just on there, they take that liquid from the grates that they've left over them, and then you put it on your face.
You put it on your face. And then your skin looks like yours. But you said you had cystic acne before. You would never think.
Yeah. Oh my God. And then if you just look up like Bella Thorne acne in Google, it'll all come up because I used to post about it a ton on Snapchat, on this, on that, popping my pimples, doing this, doing that. I mean, I would just go out with no makeup because that's also bad. If you have acne, you shouldn't be covering it with makeup. It just makes the problem worse. You're just like recycling the issue. And then like it's taken me a long time, but now look.
It's perfect. Thank you. Oh my goodness. That must feel so good. And seeing pictures like that, you must have been like, not so good for my self-esteem, because that's what happens. You're in the spotlight 100%. And you see it all.
Yeah. And it like, you know, I think with acting being one of the things too, is like your face is blown up 50 foot wide on a screen. Mm-hmm. And if you have acne all over your face, like directors and producers, like, you know, nobody wants to really see that. And then to top it off too, I was just like hounded by the media saying, oh, she must be on drugs. She must be doing heroin because like nobody's skin is that bad.
You're like, I'm a teenager? That's terrible.
Ow.
Ouch. Yeah. Ouch. Literally, that stays with you. And I know we were talking about the skincare, but let's sort of back it up for a minute, because people do know you from Disney, acting, singing, and being in our homes, really. And then you have this like other career doing all this great stuff on the internet, and you're directing and all over the place. Sort of three big things we want to tackle today are Content X and the jewelry line, which I've got this lovely necklace now, and then the radio show with your sisters, Twisted Sisters. Mm-hmm. But of all of that, what's sort of taking up most of your time or your bandwidth?
Out of the three that you mentioned?
Oh yeah, or just everything in your life. I just mentioned those because they're sort of big things that you have going on.
The things that are taking up real time in my life, I would say, is directing and writing. That takes up a lot of time. I'm in the middle of directing something right now. And I would say the other half is probably Thorne, the jewelry company. Right. That from designing to, you know, social output to marketing and everything else, you know, really being like an in-house team, starting from the ground up with the company. And that's been super rewarding. It's also more difficult. When you work so much, you make sure that you get the luncheons with the friends, and then you just like schedule that like in the middle of your day. Like if I go on my notes list, I'll pull it up real quick so we can see it. You just... or else you're never going to see anybody and you're going to be miserable in your life because all you're going to do is work and never have like any real memories. But like I go through this every day.
Those are your notes?
Okay, these are the notes. This is just the miscellaneous, which means it gets put in there if it doesn't have its own section. And then they all have their own areas as well. So
That's your to-do list that just is never ending?
Yeah.
Oh, kill
And
me
you're
right now.
always adding to
Just
it.
kill me.
So, especially because I like to be really hands-on with all of my companies. At some point in my life, I will take a step back from some of the other companies and let somebody come in and really run it for me, and me just give them ideas and be like, cool, let me know when it's done. Great to see it. Then I'll be older when I'm like, really don't want to be spending all my brain power doing this and I want to fucking take my kids to their baseball game or some shit. That's when I'll just be like, okay,
So you're basically setting a foundation for
Exactly.
yourself. And somebody mentioned to me, which I loved, that you're sort of the Kris Jenner of your generation because you're doing it all and you're the brains and the beauty and you've got all these projects and operations. Have you heard that before?
It's just funny. I don't know if I've ever heard that one before.
But it's true.
Kris Jenner.
You and Kris Jenner. You have so much. No, but I feel like, let's talk Content X for a second, shall we? So how much are you involved in the day-to-day versus what your mom is very much involved with the company?
Right. Yeah, my mom runs the company. My manager as well is another partner in the company. Definitely day to day, yes. I think definitely at the beginning I started much more like fully hands in on every single set, and then now as the company has grown and it's kind of like, really taken off, I see that things can get handled and I don't have to be there like
Micromanaging.
which everything, which is nice. That feels good. Yeah, I'm one of my favorite parts about the company, which is why we started it too, which was meeting so many people, in the industry and especially females getting like seriously taken advantage of contractually and other ways and not knowing what they're signing and things like that. So if anybody has issues, come reach out to Content X. We like to help get all of our clients and not our clients out of bad situations that they can't get out of.
And this is primarily with OnlyFans, or is this not?
It also has OnlyFans. Yeah, we handle people content and things like that.
Social media.
Okay. All around the board.
So this is just one of the projects, the many projects that you're involved in. Another one, Twisted Sisters.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that for a second. Which is a radio show.
Yes. It's a radio show on AMP. It's really exciting. Danny and I have always wanted to do some form of podcasting, radio, and when you just have those late night conversations, you do, clearly.
Yes.
You have a show.
Yes.
And you're like, man, we got to record some of this shit. Like, it'd be interesting to hear people's thoughts, their opinions, their ideas, whether they agree or don't. And kind of like have these conversations in a really open way. And that's what we do on the radio show, which is fun.
Okay, so who was your recent guest?
Cameron.
Tyler Cameron. Okay. So like you're usually in the hot seat and now you're interviewing. You're switching roles.
Yeah.
Is that challenging?
I guess I never thought about it like that. Yeah, I saw some of the things that was written down to mention on the show, and I was like, well, I'm not going to say this.
Okay.
I was like, I'm not going to ask him this.
Like it was digging too deep?
A little bit of a personal question.
That's funny because we're so used to that. Like we're like, okay, let's grill. You
guys are like, more grill, the better.
Yeah.
He was so lovely. We're going to have him on quite a few more times as well. It was kind of like our big brother situation because talking to him, and I think that men as well need a man to say things that make sense and also aren't just like a dickhead that treats girls badly and gives bad advice. Like if you ever want to actually fall in love and lock someone down, like the way you're doing it, bro, and the bros you're getting advice from isn't the way it's gonna happen.
Right. And also like we were just talking about this before you came in. Like, men, can you just like be cool? I'm sorry, like just be cool.
Just chill the fuck out.
No offense, Steve.
Just chill the fuck out, guys.
Just be nice. Just be normal. But you're right. Like, you need good role models out there. right?
Yes.
As men need to be out there. Like fathers, be good to your daughters, that whole thing.
I think there's a lot of stuff that goes on in, from man to man, from father to son, this whole idea of like, you can't feel, and if you cry, you're a pussy, and this thing, and don't let her break your heart, you break hers first, and like, it doesn't matter if she said like, you guys should be together, like, you go fuck whoever you want, like, all these things that I think that men and society tell men as well. That's just not good, and it was nice to have somebody like Tyler be able to like be a man and speak and actually give good advice. We
Yeah.
were like, thank you.
Because he's cool, and so people are going to look up to him regardless.
Exactly. And, I think he ticks off a certain amount of like traits that guys can respect us too. Like, he's like really like, man's man. He fucking made his whole construction thing from the ground up, started his own construction company, and that quote that came out about him dating Gigi Hadid with $200 to his name, like, that's like, you're clearly a cool guy, and guys can really look up to you, that you don't have to be some like crazy billionaire this and that to like get girls or be. No,
I mean,
you just
he's
have to be a
also
good person.
Good person, but it doesn't hurt that he looks like that.
I think that that does go into yes, okay.
Okay. I want to talk about, because you're so getting into directing and all of this. Where did that love come from?
I think it came straight from set, from creating, everything from starting with a white canvas and making something after, to building with my mom like little homemade baskets that we would like sell for money, and hot gluing things to them, and making like baby baskets and people like for their babies and stuff. Like I think that when I was younger, we just got our hands into so many creative ways, and it always started from like something very plain that you think you can't make something out of, and then you make something very beautiful out of it. And that's kind of just transpired in my life. I think as you act and you act and you act and you act, as I've been acting a very long time, there's a level of not having any control over what happens after you step off that set. There's the editing room, there's this and that, and it's just, I think every actor can attest to this, that it's been very frustrating when you see something and you're like, damn it, that is what you guys did with this. We all have it on the editing room floor, and like there's producer notes and studio notes and all these things that you have to abide by. Yes, and it's just, I think it's just, it becomes a little frustrating being so much of a, paint, and not being the brush or the person with holding the paintbrush,
And this is how you reclaim control.
Yeah.
You obviously were saying, you're known with this great Disney background, Shake It Up, and now you've really gone it's not a different direction. You've evolved a lot, and you've brought out your edgy side. I think a lot of young girls relate to that. What I want to know is, like, did you have to overcorrect? Did you have to go to that direction just to kind of balance out where you were in the squeaky clean image?
Yeah. I think that emotionally, I felt that way as well. I'd always been I was the girl that everybody got to scream and cry on cue. Okay. I never did comedy. And now all of a sudden I was this funny girl, and I had to have this higher voice, and I only watched horrors growing up.
Right.
Like, I saw The Grudge in theaters. Do the math. What age was I? Seriously. Like, I didn't, I think that naturally I was like a dark person, and I had always been going through dark things in my life, my father dying and all the other things that we don't have to get into. And it was like this complete mask, completely playing a character, and then I was stuck as her, as Cece, and I loved Cece. It was sad to be stuck with her and start to hate her from the inside out, because that just wasn't who I was, literally. And then I think emotionally I had to like pull myself so far from her to gain any sort of, this is maybe who I am. Maybe, just maybe, could be. Like, just, I had to like do the utmost to get completely away from I wouldn't say like the image, which I think is how people usually see it, like, oh, Bella Thorne went, she went so rebellious to get away from her Disney image. And it's like, no, I went that was rebellious in my soul. I was rebelling against everything that I had been, taught and conditioned and groomed to be. And it was exhausting. So I just went completely the other way. And a lot of those ways were totally who I am, like all my rock phases and stuff. I'll still be going through my rock phases, like my emo girl shit. Like, yep, still definitely a big part of me. Yeah.
So this is your authentic spot. This is where you're meant to be. It was never really the Disney character.
No, it wasn't. But I'm very, very thankful, of course. But honestly, I just don't know why my life kind of took that way and why it took that route. I'm just not sure. But I also was never funny, and now I know comedy very well.
Do you see,
So it
there's
taught me
always
that.
a reason. There's always, it's like building blocks. And like, now I'm 41 years old. So I look back and I go, stop it. No, I wasn't saying it for that. I'm like, I could be your mother. But I look back and I'm like, why did I do that project? Or that didn't make sense. And then, or why did that fail? And then you're like, oh, and then like years later, there was a reason for it. And that'll benefit you, I'm sure, at some point. Like you said, comedy now.
Also, I wanted to say, touching on your note about if you could just know years later that everything happened for a reason, I think that, a lot of people in really bad places, like mentally depressed, suicidal thoughts, like that would be such a good thing to know, of like, yeah, you'd think you can't get out of this now. You think this is the worst or this is the lowest or whatever it is, so much to the point that you think in your mind maybe that's the only way out. But if you were to live years later, you would understand that was just yet another hard fucking moment in your life, just like all the other ones.
No, it's so true, because there are dark moments. And I know, even like if I feel uninspired by life at a certain moment, I'm just sitting there going through the motions and I'm like, is this what it is? Like, is this what everybody dreams about? Like the house and the kids and the husband, and it's like becomes I'm disillusioned by it all. And then you get over the hump and you find things that make you happy, be it yoga or eating healthy or having a glass of wine with friends or whatever you do. And you get through it. It's exactly what you're saying, because life is that way,
roller coaster.
especially if you're the type of person who has highs and lows. Like I do. I love that. I love doing interviews because I meet people. I talk to them. I'm not like a steady person, and probably you aren't either. We feed off these highs and lows. You said something that I read and I was like, oh my God, this was my life. Because I was on an entertainment show as well, and you were on Shake It Up, and they said you that some of the people pit you against your co-star. And girls, and I was pit against one of the other talent who came in. And I feel like I ended up not getting along with that other talent for no reason, because we actually really liked each other. You had a similar situation, did you not?
Yeah, when we were on Shake It Up, like people pitted us against each other, and I think it was in the second season that we just kind of had this really great moment where we got to talk it out. We did like a Good Luck Charlie crossover episode, and we snuck out to another stage. Bad girls. And we had a talk, and we just kind of talked it out, and we realized that there was like really, nothing there. And I think that people still have that mindset, but luckily, like Z's, she's so fucking smart and mature, and yeah, we just I think we just got over that in the second season, and we got really lucky. And even when it happened in the future, we knew that like people are just fucking idiots. Like they always want to pin women against each other.
It's so lame.
It's so I don't understand.
I don't know if it's for their amusement. You know what I mean?
I think that I just spit on myself. I think that people have this idea that women, that right, we've been taught that there can only ever be one and this and that, and that there's not that many jobs to get. And so you have to fight tooth and nail for the one that you can even get, your hands maybe on close to maybe. And I think that people think women are so, I'm trying to look for the right word, insignificant in their feelings, that the thing that really drives them crazy is another woman. Oh yeah, and she's beautiful, or she's young, and she's this. Oh yeah, that drives them crazy. They hate it. They're like, I mean, if you look at like tropes in movies,
Yep.
like what the fuck, guys?
But the thing is, there's room for everyone. Or no, maybe not everyone, but there's room for enough.
Yes.
Just because this person has success doesn't mean you can't.
And you guys are also successful in your different areas, your different things, your different everything. Like, why does everything have to be such a comparison? I think it's also because society likes to do that to women because they only want one of us to win. They don't want two of us to go. So they're like,
I think you're so right.
You know what? Here's a knife and here's a knife. You two fight it out.
Battle it out. And we'll watch from the stands.
Yeah.
Do you and Zendaya follow each other's careers? Do you still keep up with her?
Yeah, we do. She's just such a sweetheart. And just such a good person. And, she's just awesome.
I want to circle back really quickly because we were talking about Thorne Dynasty, okay? And you have a new commercial coming out.
Yes. When we were speaking about the comedy bits, that brought that to mind. It's ridiculous. I mean, really ridiculous. I put some fun things in there. I wrote it with Batch. He directed it, King Batch. And,
that's cool.
I really hope it gets some laughs because, it's out there and it's around 10 minutes long.
Oh, wow.
So
Where do we catch this?
Form. I have not decided yet exactly because it really is kind of like a short film because it's so long. But it's so funny that you just don't really want to cut anything. And I tried cutting things in the edit room and it feels like the whole story then doesn't make sense. So
you realize you just queued me up. I had to because you said short film.
Oh.
Okay. So you directed an adult film that was a short film back in 2019, which, by the way, you won awards for.
Thank you. Her and him.
Her and him. Talk about a departure.
And I love a Bella Danger. Bella has become one of my very close friends. She's studying to be a lawyer right now. She just made it on the dean's list.
That's awesome.
Very exciting. And after that, she became my muse and also my very close friend. And so I use her in almost every single thing I have that I need an amazing woman for. I'm
how many
Bella.
People? No, but how many people in your life said
don't
Bella,
do this.
You can't do this.
Yeah.
You cannot do this.
Yeah, a lot. And I think that, at times in my life, I'm like, yeah, I could see why, I definitely see why. And, maybe they're right on some things of why that maybe wasn't a good idea. Oh, it's porn, it's this, it's that. Well, really, it's a story and there's actual sex. But sure, I mean, we allow sex in movies all the time. Nobody's got an issue when she takes her top off then, when it's a movie. Sure, okay. Don't understand why this is, okay. And, so I could see, and, as you grow up, I think you go, okay, yeah, I understand why everyone was so, scared for me to do this. But I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change a lot of things in my life. I
like that you're on your own path. I think it's very cool. Steve, I want to bring Steve in because he's got a lot to say.
Steve,
Shake It Up used to be his favorite show.
My daughters still go back and watch it.
Oh,
that's everything that we're talking about. My 12 and 10-year-old are like, wait, you have the girl from Shake It Up on? This is the biggest thing to them. I was like, yes.
It's funny that you, her family, you work with your sister, you work with your mom. That's kind of a big undertaking. If you asked any one of us to work with our family members, I think it might be war at certain times. So how is that for you?
Really?
With the radio show, though, actually, I was going to jump in and talk about the radio show with your sister.
Oh.
How is that? Is it the same dynamic doing the show as growing up with your sister? Or do you find does it cross over, or is it very professional and kind of not sisterly?
I think that Danny and I are as professional as we are silly. Like we're just like two like stupid, funny, ridiculous girls that just like to chat.
But there's no like sibling rivalry in it. Are you guys not fighting?
my
Oh,
God,
you love
no.
each other.
No. Me and
Okay.
Danny are like like they decided to split one soul in two. They just couldn't decide. They were like one person, nope, two. Yeah, no. Me and Danny are just like two peas in a pod. We also live together. Like we're like extremely close.
Okay, got it. So,
But yeah, working with your mom, like that's always interesting.
what
I
is
think
that like? Who
anyone
wins the
can attest
battles?
to that.
Who wins those battles? Like, do you get final say?
I want to say that. Oh, I just don't know. Ooh, I don't know. I think it depends on what it is.
Yeah.
Like on some things, I'll be like, yeah, mommy, like you definitely know more of what you're talking about. I don't even deal with this shit like a lot of times, so I'll just follow your lead on that. And then there's other things that I'm like, mommy, no,
Right.
no, we have to do it this way.
You and your sister obviously super, super close, and you're having on your show, your radio show, the Copel sisters.
Yeah.
They've done well for themselves.
Yes, they
Not
have.
again, not hard to look at.
Not hard to look at. I'll say that.
But that's going to be like a bunch of siblings having fun together.
Our theme that we came up with sleepover. I'm gonna do a little sister sleepover
You have
kind
like
of
the
vibe.
pillow.
Yes, that would be fun as
Gentlemen,
fuck.
tune in because this is what happens at a sleepover with all these cute girls.
Yeah. I think, it'll be a very fun episode. I'm excited to get the ladies in there and us do some really like some sister shit.
Yeah.
Like what do sisters do?
I don't know because I have a
man.
brother,
Oh,
but
are you guys close?
I love him so much. He's my older brother, but acts like everyone's like, oh, you're the older sister, right? Like he's also had his own path and struggles.
You
and stuff,
do
so-
give me older sister vibes.
Really?
Yeah, you
I'll
do
take it.
definitely. Mm-hmm.
It's probably because I'm a mom. Speaking of which, by the way, and this was a nice segue, okay? But you mentioned having kids down the road. Is that something you want to do?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet. No. I just am like, really need to figure out my life in a very solid way, I think, before I want to do that. When I have kids, I'd like to take some time off and just if I can do that, I don't know. Maybe I'll have a kid and I'll be like, fuck this little fucker. I don't want any fucking time off.
Yeah. It's the
I'll
best.
take all the work I can get. Get me away from this kid.
They're difficult. They are difficult. They can be, but they're
I
so
was-
awesome too. Like 6 and 8 was my kids, and the ages are perfect. The baby stage is a little tough. You're dating currently, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you happy?
Yeah, so happy. In general, I'm just in a really great spot in my life. I feel like I'm finally really doing things that make me really happy. And I feel better in my group where I'm at in my life. I think that speaking of not so Hollywood, you're in Hollywood and all your friends are Hollywood. And I think that can become like deteriorating for the brain.
So true.
So,
And
That's
what do you
so
mean by
well
that?
said. Deteriorate. That's such a good.
That is.
deteriorating.
Could suck your soul
Yeah,
dry.
you just start draining.
deteriorating as in just a slow combination of things that involve Hollywood to people's morals to Hollywood being the only thing that people talk at a dinner table if you have a bunch of people in Hollywood there. And that's just, it's not good.
It's funny because I'm curious now since we're on this kick. What would like the perfect dinner look like to you? What would people be talking about? What would you be eating and drinking?
Is your mom and sister there who you work with all the time?
My sister's there for sure. I'll leave my mom out of this one
Sorry,
dinner.
Mom.
She didn't make dinner.
Sorry.
She didn't make dinner.
My mom's gonna be like, I saw that interview you did, you bitch.
She'll get it.
Okay, what is there to drink? A like spa water. I love some good spa water. You know, when you put the fruit in there and you put some lemon in there, delicious.
Look at
I
that.
carry around like a big pitcher of water around my house that's spa water, and so when I'm drinking water, it really is that bougie. I'm making some
That is bougie as hell.
spa water. It's so delicious.
I love that. Spa water, Bella.
Spa
See,
water.
we're
It's
learning
just
some
great.
very interesting
And
things
it's
about
important to have like the lemon in your water. I don't know. My sister, she's like, she's a vegan and a real health person, and she's always telling me about the lemon in the water. I don't know. Anyways, there would definitely be Italian wine, red, vodka, shots, maybe.
Yes.
And turkey. I love Thanksgiving. I host a Thanksgiving 4 times a year at my house.
Wait, throughout the year, just like every couple months. It's like a quarterly Thanksgiving.
Yes.
You got the whole
Does your mom
thing.
make one of them?
Not anymore. No, I don't.
like,
I
no,
don't.
no, she's not coming.
I don't make her do
But
that
I'm
anymore.
looking out
But
for-
she
honestly,
cooks
I'm
the
looking out
best
for her.
one, so that's the issue.
The question is, does Danny get a tofurkey?
Yes. Danny always has a tofurkey.
That's
She's got
right.
a separate side of
I'm
mashed
on the same-
potatoes and a separate side of gravy, and she's got all the vegan sides. They got all the vegan sides.
What else are you obsessed with right now? It could be a TV show, a movie, a certain clothing line, your spa water.
Schiaparelli. I had a Chanel closet, and now I'm turning it into a Schiaparelli closet because I'm buying so much Schiaparelli.
Wow.
I love everything Schiaparelli. I mean, everything from the gold work. I used to not even like gold. I don't know what's happening to me, man, but I will say never say never.
It is a
Justin
new-
Bieber. Never do it. Don't do it because you will change your mind. I'm
Are you
telling
friends with the Biebs, by the way? You guys like came up at the same time, right? Or you're
yeah,
young-
around the same time.
Are-
I think I'm maybe younger than him.
maybe a couple years.
Yeah, he's
maybe.
nice. He's sweet. But yeah, what else am I obsessed with? Well, I was obsessed with chrome nails. I don't have them
Yes.
on now.
What are those? The
These are just
powder?
fucking the summer, spring colors, whatever fucking season we're in that are coming in. I don't know.
Thank goodness for the love of God that rain is gone. Wait, is this dipping powder or no?
No, this is hard gel. Yeah, I like to
Okay.
grow out my nails, so.
What are you
hard
watching
gel.
on TV?
Oh God, no! I was just trying. Hold on,
She's got to tell us.
I have a watch list.
Oh my God. Is that part of the to-do list?
It's a separate list.
By the way, you guys, if you're not watching but you're listening, that was like literally 6 pages long. Don't tell me that's not for one day, is it? Or is it just like the ongoing?
It's my in general my list
Thank
of
God.
always.
You just made me feel like a real piece of crap. I was like, oh, I got nothing going on here. What is that? That's more than
This
this.
is the watch list.
I'm getting
Things to watch.
spilkies.
Well, Succession is back.
Okay.
Oh my fucking God. I'm gonna shit
love?
myself. I love Succession.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love Brian Cox.
Last season,
I love
baby.
everybody on that show. My boyfriend just had a bar opening, the Mulberry, if you're in New York, go. And all the Succession, the whole entire cast was there.
Oh, awesome.
And I swear to God, I was just like, Succession. Alexander Skarsgård was there.
Woo! Dreamy and
Yep,
kind.
love them all.
Okay, we have to wrap it up because I know you have to go. But I want to say one thing, okay? Well, a couple things, but one which is how cool would it be if ultimately you directed a Disney movie?
Oh yeah, that'd
How
be
about
really
some
cool.
full circle shit there, girl? Okay. And then lastly, you are so lovely and kind, and I do really appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
And so I wish you nothing but the best moving forward with all the 6 pages of to-dos and 15 businesses. And then you can take a breath and go have kids and be happy.
Thank you. You are so lovely. This was a great interview. Thank you for being very nice and genuine.
Love you. You're great.
You too.
Thank you.
How do you feel?
You know, I'll pick myself apart until the cows come home because that's what I do. But that's what makes you better, I think, ultimately. She's phenomenal.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I was gonna say. She's just interesting. to
She's
me.
interesting. She's cool. She's down to earth. She's got a lot going on. And so I see, not that I don't want to come across patronizing, but like I see so much longevity for her. To me, she's the real deal.
Here's what I'll say for like people listening and people watching is that she showed up and she's wearing a shirt and she's like, I just worked out. Oh shoot, I didn't bring another shirt. And she's like, we're fine, let's go. And 2 minutes later we were recording, and that just doesn't happen all the time.
Oh,
and
and-
that was just made it cool from the beginning. All her projects, all her things, why she's chosen it, it just seems very honest to me, and I take honesty all the time, like the
On
feeling of
time,
honesty.
on time, with her cute, amazing little pups in tow, and not a stitch of makeup, and freaking stunning.
Yeah, Abby and Madeline, they didn't watch Shake It Up when it was on. They just found it a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that was you.
That was me, yeah.
watched.
They just found it a couple of years ago, but like they knew exactly who was coming on today, and I thought that was interesting. Like they're like, oh my gosh, the person from Shake It Up. So
Yeah.
that was cool. Well done.
Yeah, one down, baby. 99 more to go.
99.
Yeah, exactly. Beep.
Not So Hollywood #1. That was just awesome. Well done, well done, well done. Let's go drink a beer or something.
Okay, I would love that.
Okay. Not So Hollywood Show 1.
Show 1,
and this
baby.
guy's right in our way, and I started talking before I clapped. No, that's my bad. I got all excited. I just wanted to say Not So Hollywood Show. Not So Hollywood Show 1.
I'm so
we are.
excited. I am so excited. I was nervous leading up to it. And now I feel like this is what we do. And here we are. And let's friggin' shine, you know? And bring the people what they want.
Yes. Look, we've been doing this a long time, and we've been in pre-production and figuring all this out for a few months. So I'm actually kind of excited that it's just here. Does that make sense?
I know, me too. Let's get the show underway. So what are we talking about today? Like what are we leading with?
I'm interested in, look, she's got, she has the thong and the weed and all these things.
Right.
To me, I'm really interested in, this is her business, but this is a Disney star that's doing this thing. And it's all cool, but I'm kind of interested in, was this like a sharp turn for her? Like, hey, I did Disney, now you're going to know I do this? Or was it like, no, this is what I would always
This is who I was all along.
and maybe she'll say, I'm a Disney star. Maybe she'll say, I like the Disney star thing.
Right.
Like, who knows? But I just kind of like that journey.
You know, it'd be cool if she directed a Disney movie because she's getting into directing.
Right.
Like that would be fun full circle.
She directed like that soft
The
porn thing too.
movie.
And
I
like
know.
won awards for it.
I know
have
you
to
watched that shit.
That's all that. Oh, and her business, like
my
with the
God.
family affair, as we
Yes,
talked about.
yes.
The business with her mom, the criticism with that, good or bad, does she even care? Working with her sister, how does that go? And I think once you get through all that and kind of the Disney stuff, I think that's when you get to actually Zendaya and be like, let's talk about Disney. Like, what was that time like for you? I always want to hear that.
Right. Everybody wants to hear that.
And then be like, what's the deal with Zendaya and you? Like, was it that you felt like, did Disney kind of pit you? Which is just too bad if that's true.
It is too bad, but guess what? It happens all too often
Right.
with women who work
And
together.
then boyfriend, and what are you doing next time? And that's it. 'Cause
Blah, blah, and blah.
what do you think?
I like it. Yes.
You got
let's
it,
do
right?
it. Yes. I feel proud.
And you got to do it all in 28 minutes. We're good. I got to stop rolling. Like, we got it. Okay. Not So Hollywood.
Episode 1. Can't wait till it's 100.
Boom.